Have you ever felt just tired, but for no good reason? Like you're trying to do everything right, but you still feel completely drained? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a hidden process that might just be the culprit. It's something that's quietly aging us from the inside out. We're calling it the oxidation trap, and believe me, understanding this could really change the way you think about food forever.
It's a really frustrating feeling, isn't it? That kind of deep exhaustion you just can't seem to shake, even if you got a full 8 hours of sleep. We so often blame our crazy schedules or stress, but what if the real cause is something else? Something happening way down at the cellular level that's being triggered by the food on your plate.
All right, so to really get to the bottom of this, let's start with a really powerful metaphor that comes from our source material, the body's silent rust. It's such a perfect way to describe what's happening inside of us when our internal systems get thrown off balance.
I want you to just picture what happens to a piece of metal when you leave it out in the rain. It oxidizes, right? It starts to rust. It gets brittle, weak, and damaged. Now, imagine that exact same process happening inside your body, to the billions and billions of cells that make you who you are. This isn't just some clever saying, it's a really simple way to visualize a very real and honestly, a very damaging biological process.
So the official scientific term for this body rust is oxidative stress. It all starts with these unstable little molecules that our bodies produce all the time. The material we're looking at calls them reactive oxygen, though you've probably heard them called free radicals. Now, in a healthy body, this is no big deal. We have a whole army of antioxidants to go in and neutralize them. But oxidative stress is what happens when that system gets completely overwhelmed. There are just too many attackers and not enough defenders. It's this imbalance that leads to all this damage at the cellular level.
And here you can really see what that looks like. On the left, you've got a healthy, strong cell, just doing its job perfectly. But on the right, you see what happens when it's under attack? The cell wall gets damaged, its DNA can even get messed with, and the vital proteins inside stop working right. And this isn't just happening in one place. It can affect everything. Your skin cells, which leads to wrinkles. Your brain cells, which can impact your memory and focus. This is a really fundamental problem that can speed up aging and a whole host of other issues.
So the big question is, what's causing this massive flood of reactive oxygen in our modern world? Well, the source material points a finger at two specific culprits that actually work together to create this perfect storm of oxidative stress. Let's take a look at exactly what they are.
And here they are. First, the always eating lifestyle. You know, the constant snacking, grazing all day, eating late at night. And second, the massive amount of food additives in all the processed foods we eat. Now, either one of these is a problem on its own, but when you combine them, that's when you create a cycle that can just completely overwhelm our body's natural defenses. Let's break down each one of these.
Okay, so first up is this always eating habit. It seems so harmless, right? A snack here, a snack there, but it puts your body under this relentless strain. Step one is what we can call digestion overload. See, every single time you eat, your body produces some of those reactive oxygen molecules. So if you're eating all the time, your body never gets a break, and you're just creating this constant stream of damage. Step two is blood sugar spikes. Eating so often keeps your blood sugar high, and that triggers a really nasty reaction called glycation. Think of it like sugar literally making your cells sticky and stiff, damaging them, and creating even more oxidative stress. And finally, all this leads to gut inflammation. An overworked gut is an unhappy gut, and that leads to chronic inflammation, which is itself a major source of, you guessed it, more oxidative stress. It's a vicious cycle.
And the second trigger? All those food additives, the preservatives, the artificial colors and flavors that are in so many of our packaged foods. I mean, just look at this list. They are everywhere in snack foods, processed meats, those quick instant meals, sugary drinks. The problem is pretty simple. Our bodies just don't know what to do with these chemicals. So the process of trying to break them down generates a huge flood of reactive oxygen, adding another heavy burden to our already overworked defense systems.
And this right here, this is really the heart of the issue. This quote just sums up the whole problem perfectly. It's not just the constant snacking, and it's not just the additives. It is the combination of the two. The constant eating creates this high baseline of stress, and then all the chemicals from processed foods just pour gasoline on the fire. This is what the source calls the oxidation trap. Your body's defenses are simply and totally overwhelmed.
Okay, so all this talk about cellular damage, it sounds pretty serious, but I know it can also feel a bit abstract. So how does this actually show up in our day-to-day lives? Well, the good news is, your body is actually really good at sending you warning signs when something's not right. Let's walk through some of the most common ones. So,
As we go through this next list, I want you to ask yourself honestly, do any of these sound a little too familiar? Because these are not just random aches and pains. They're direct physical signs of that internal rusting process that we've been talking about.
First up, chronic fatigue. This makes perfect sense. When your cellular power plants, your mitochondria, are damaged, your body just can't produce energy the way it's supposed to. Next, faster skin aging. Oxidative stress literally breaks down the collagen that keeps your skin firm and bouncy. That's where things like wrinkles and dull skin come from. Then there's weakened immunity. Your immune cells are really vulnerable to this kind of damage, which makes you much more likely to catch every little bug that's going around. And finally, chronic inflammation. Oxidative stress and inflammation are like partners in crime. They're locked in this vicious cycle where each one makes the other worse, leading to things like achy joints and general discomfort.
This chart really sums it all up. Nice and simple. When oxidative stress is high, your energy levels are low, your immunity is weak, and your aging process is fast. The main thing to take away from this is that these aren't just things you have to live with. They are signals. They're your body telling you that it needs a change.
Now, I know after hearing all of that, it can feel a little bit discouraging, a little overwhelming. But this next part is the most important part of this whole explainer. We are not stuck in this trap. This situation is not permanent. There are absolutely things we can do to escape it. So let's get into the solutions.
And this really is the good news. Our bodies have this incredible capacity to heal and repair themselves, but only if we give them the right conditions to do so. The damage from oxidative stress, it is not a one-way street. You absolutely have the power to reduce the burden on your body and help it get back to its natural, healthy balance.
So here it is, a clear, actionable 4-step plan, taken right from the source material. First, create eating windows. This is just a simple way of saying, confine your eating to a specific chunk of the day. This helps reduce that constant grazing. Second, you want to actively add antioxidant-rich foods to your diet. Think of it as sending in reinforcements for your body's defense army. Third, heal your gut. Eating more fiber and fermented foods can help reduce inflammation right at the source. And fourth, for a really powerful reset, you can try fasting.
This slide really gives us a practical guide. It's all about a simple trade. On the add side, you've got all the good stuff, whole, natural foods that are packed with these defensive compounds. We're talking colorful vegetables, fruits, nuts, and those great gut-healing fermented foods. And on the reduced side, we have the very habits that are causing the problem in the first place, the constant snacking, the processed foods, the late-night meals. The strategy here is simple. You crowd out the bad stuff by bringing in more of the good stuff.
Now, while all of these steps are important, the source really highlights one of them as the most powerful tool for escaping this trap, and that's fasting. Now, this doesn't have to be anything extreme. Even just simple intermittent fasting gives your digestive system a much-needed rest. This does two things. It dramatically cuts down on the production of new reactive oxygen, and it allows your body to switch its energy over to cellular cleanup and repair. It's kind of like hitting the ultimate reset button, giving your body the time and space it needs to heal itself from the inside out.
And so, that's what it all comes down to. This one question. A question for all of us to think about. Is food just the fuel that you use to live a full, vibrant life? Or has the act of constant eating become the center of your life? Understanding this silent damage, this oxidation trap, gives us the power to make a change, to shift our habits and to choose a path that leads to health and energy, not to silent rust. And that choice, as it always is yours to make.